It's the end of the day with Ray. Hello, my friends. You see I'm wearing a sweater. I lit the match and I started the Sharp Interactive fireplace. It's time for this season's first Friday's Fireside Chat. And today's episode is for all the industry's media. That industry, those friends of mine that sell supply and service print equipment, you have a bunch of media outlets that you go to for information. And I want to talk to that outlet because right now, I believe they're so naive they believe they're not going to have any competition. I believe they think they own the space. I believe they think they control the narrative. They don't do this with malice. They just do it because they're so stuck in status quo. Over the last 25 years of most of these platforms, there really hasn't been any changes. They talk about digitalization for the industry. I think we need to have some digitalization for the media. And quite honestly, posting an article that you wrote on social media is not really digitalization. Today, consumers of information want video. That's just the reality. We all talk about it, but none of the media really does it. And when you're doing an interview that's completely scripted, it's no different than a copy and pasted article that you receive from an OEM or from any product provider. They want raw content. They want insights. They want fun and education. The world has changed drastically. And as our industry goes through this massive disruption it's in, well, guess what? Its actors are on a journey, and along that journey, they're going to meet new people. Along that journey, they're going to find new venues to get information. And the document imaging channel, the media folks around that channel, are going to get quite disrupted. When I started the end of the day with Ray, I wanted to look for something that nobody else was doing. And if I could do something that nobody else was doing, and I could do it well, I could provide a living for myself. Then I gave birth to the end of the day with Ray because I truly believed that if I went into the marketplace, I shared insights, and I talked to people about things I believe in, and I shared what I believed to be the truth, I would have a great venue. A couple of weeks ago, I announced that I had 800 episodes. 800 episodes. I want everybody in the marketplace to think about something. Over the last 5 years, 800 episodes, have you ever once seen anybody in our media discuss the end of the day with Ray? Did they ever go on their platform and say, the end of the day with Ray said this and he's wrong, this is the way it's supposed to be? Well, they haven't. So I'm here to say that over the last 5 years, our industry's media agreed with every single thing that I've said. Otherwise, I would have hoped that they would go on their platform and share where I was wrong. I would hope that they would share insights around the reality that I might be missing. But in fact, they haven't, which can only conclude that the entire industry's media believes everything I'm talking about is right. Now, here's what they might not like. They might not like the style. Well, of course they don't, because my style's different from theirs. You know, they're living in 1990 and 1980. They want to copy and paste stuff and put it in a blog and call it information. Most of these venues have very little insight. And the reason they have very little insight is because it's not their platform. It's not that they're bad people. They just don't have a platform to share insights. They have a platform to get information from other people, copy and paste it, and put it in an article. That article has to be approved. Then they send it to the people they're going to write about and make sure it's approved again. In the fast-moving world of video, you don't have time for any of that stuff. If you're going to post content every single day and share your insights, you don't wake up in the morning and say, oh, I can't really talk about that because I might offend this person. Folks, if you get offended because I'm talking about something that I believe to be the truth and relevant to help my friends, I can't help that. If you get offended because I'm doing a satire, it's a satire. Get over yourself, okay? If you get offended because I'm doing some satires and it's just a terrible thing that I would call this out, why don't you listen to the satire and see if there's any truth in the satire? Wouldn't that be something? And then if you believe that what I'm talking about is not true, or if you believe what I'm talking about doesn't match reality, don't you owe it to your friends in the channel to share that with them? If you're a consultant, if you're an analyst, if you're in the media and you believe what I'm talking about is not right, don't you owe it to your friends, those dealers that we're all trying to help navigate through this disruption? Don't you owe it to them to tell them? Why don't you do it? I hope our media really pays attention to today's episode, because here's the reality. None of you are off limits in the competitive landscape of the media. None of you. And it won't just be from the end of the day with Ray. It'll be from IT provider outlets for media, because that's where the industry's going. They're going into broader services. Folks, you have a lot to do to fix your platforms. So instead of trying to figure out how to build a wall between the old way the media is and the way Ray does it, why don't you try to come up with something that the dealers want to listen to? Why don't you come up and challenge the threat? It's just amazing to me. I'm challenging you because you scare me when I look at what you're presenting to the dealers. That's why I'm challenging, because it's scary. It's scary that these friends of mine that want to transition are going to these places for their news, if you will, for information, if you will. And some of it's quite silly. And some of it needs a counterpoint. And if you think my counterpoint's wrong, you owe it to the dealers to tell them that. So think about it over the weekend, my friends, because every single component of our channel is going to get competition. Dealers, OEMs, and the media, and the analyst. Everybody watching me knows this. Status quo is the killer of all that'll be invented. Don't get stuck in status quo, and I'll see you all on Monday.